Hi, I'm Vanessa Lake, spiritual practitioner and grid healer. Today we're talking about something that might surprise you: the quiet way your trees can let you know your land's energy grid needs healing. I'm not talking about pruning branches or making sure they get enough water, though you should, especially in this heat. I mean the energetic grid that your trees are rooted into, the nervous system of Earth itself. If the land's energy is traumatized, distorted, or corrupted, your trees will often be the first to raise the alarm. Trees aren't just pretty landscaping, they're guardians, each with a unique role. Some are sentinels, watching over a space and protecting it energetically. Some are healers, pulling in divine light and feeding it into the grid below. Others act like energetic translators, bridging communication between the human world and the spirit of the land. When the land's energy grid is healthy, trees thrive. They have a strong root system, vibrant leaves, and they naturally repel pests. But if the grid is damaged from traumatic events, dark energetic manipulation, or even the energetic residue of human conflict, your trees may start showing symptoms. And I'm not just talking about physical issues like drought or chemical exposure, though that matters too. I'm talking about deeper, unseen patterns that even the best gardener can't fully explain. The first sign your trees may be asking for gridwork healing: young trees dying before their time. If you've planted a tree that should live for decades, but it starts peeling bark, looking diseased, or wilting within just a few years, it's worth paying attention to. Sometimes this is a pest problem or bad soil, but when the energy grid is holding trauma, the land struggles to nourish new life. The tree's roots may be physically in the ground, but energetically disconnected from the flow of life force. Here's a picture of a tree that's less than 20 years old that has been struggling for the last 5 years, according to the owner. As soon as they sent me this picture, I knew it was more than bad soil or not enough water. It needed energetic healing and grid work to breathe clean life force back into its roots. I was able to care for the land grid, and my guides gave physical follow up care to the owner for them to do as maintenance. As above, so below. I took care of the below, in the grid, in the land, and it was up to the owner to take care of the above. The second sign: persistent bug infestations. Healthy trees actually create their own chemical pest repellents. But when they're energetically overworked, maybe holding the grid clear from heavier distortions, they can't produce those defenses. Sometimes the bugs are also part of nature's cleanup crew. If a tree is dying energetically, pests may be drawn to it to break it down so the nutrients return to the earth. If you've been treating for pests year after year and the problem keeps coming back, it may be more than just insects. It could be that the land is asking for deeper healing. The third sign: some species simply won't grow on your land. Pine trees are a big example. Pines often act as energetic purifiers. They filter and transmute lower vibrations. If the land grid is too blocked or corrupted, they can't root in. If you've tried planting a certain type of tree again and again, and it always dies, the land may be holding a vibration that literally repels that tree's purpose. I worked with a client who reported that for over 40 years they could never grow pine trees on their land. They thought it was because their soil had a lot of clay, but I saw it was deeper than that. Clay holds energy, good or bad, and this land had a lot of trauma and death happen it was holding on to. The clay was like a sponge to all negative energy. Any argument or fight the family had, any depression or anxiety their kids felt, it was holding it all. And it's been doing this for generations. I was able to clear the trauma so the clay could hold only the love and higher vibe healing energy. Once the land grid was healed, they were able to plant a pine tree that didn't instantly die within a week. What can you do now? Start small. Give your trees Reiki or healing energy. You don't need to be trained in this. Just think of your tree as your child or friend and give it a loving embrace, a comforting hug, or a pat on the trunk. Spend intentional time with them. Talk to them. Science has proven the benefits of talking positively to houseplants. They grow better when you do. Same thing applies to trees. Thank them for what they're doing for you and the land that you can't even see. Or at the very least, thank them for your damn oxygen. Reduce physical stressors. Avoid chemical treatments when possible and keep the roots hydrated. But if the root issue is an energetic grid distortion, physical care alone won't solve that. And that's where land grid clearing comes in. When the land's grid is healed, you might see trees that were on their last leg producing new leaves again. This is a picture of a tree that the owners were going to cut down for several years because they just assumed it was dead. But they were open to me doing some land healing, so I checked out the grid, did the healing that was necessary, and here it is after just a couple of months creating new leaves. Yes, it's still sad looking, but it is coming back to life. It is producing again. And so it was, worth saving. Birds and animals returning, even nesting in your trees. If the energy is off within the land and in the trees, animals can sense that. They're not going to nest there if they don't feel like it's safe. So when it's healed, they'll come on back. Species of trees that wouldn't grow will now suddenly be able to thrive. Like the pine tree that was planted, it's alive and well after clearing the land. And it's not just trees that feel the difference, humans do too. Trees are part of the same web of life we are. When they're struggling because the land's grid is carrying trauma, we feel it too. That can show up as restlessness, tension in the home, that fighting I was talking about, chronic fatigue, or feeling like something's off without being able to name it. So when the land is healed, people often report feeling lighter, calmer, and more at home in their property. So if you've noticed any of these signs in your trees, please leave a comment. Let me know what you've got going on in your land so that we can dive in and see if it's something, deeper. If you're looking at the signs of young ones dying, bug infestations that won't quit, or certain species that can't survive, and nothing you've tried has worked, it might be time to go deeper. I do remote land clearing work, which means I can help your property no matter where you are in the world. If this is resonating, book a session with me. Let's bring your land, your trees, and your home back into harmony. Because when the land heals, everything connected to it begins to thrive again, including you. And if you want more information on what grid work is, how it can be beneficial personally, not just to your land, then check out the link to the video I did on Gridwork 101.